always awesome alliance of convenience trope, Magneto teams up with the X-Men to stop Stryker after he reveals he's going to use Xavier to destroy all the mutants of the world.
We don't know where this base is. One of you?
Why? Professor already tried.
Once again, you think it's all about you.
Have you seen the posters for this franchise? It is all about him!
Actually, yeah. It's pretty much all about him. It's pretty much Wolverine's story, and I love Wolverine, so... yeah, he's got a point.
Read Nightcrawler's mind and discover the lab is where Wolverine went, but it was hidden underground. Funny how his heightened sense of smell didn't pick up the dozens of people that were literally under his nose. Oh yeah, I forgot this was a thing. It's pretty bad in an X-Men movie when you forget Logan wants Jean.
Don't make me do this. Do what?
But we've had whole seconds of chemistry. Seconds! But if you think that romance isn't well built up, Mystique, now out of nowhere, suddenly has a thing for Logan.
You know what I want.
This has never been brought up before and will never be brought up after. It's the Julia Roberts getting big and hook scene. Apparently, the only reason this scene was in the movie was to get an image of its two biggest stars, Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry, in bed together. This is ironic because there's tons of comic material with Wolverine and Storm as a couple, but somehow it was easier to have Mystique spontaneously horny for him. How is it Hugh Jackman had no problem with his character having several beautiful women on top of him? I just realized I answered my own question. Speaking of spontaneous team-ups, Magneto and Pyro talk for a minute, and that immediately justifies him turning evil by the end.
You are a god among insects. Never that anyone any different.
In a magnifying glass to an ant sort of way. I'm sorry, I can't follow this map unless you use needles.
Can you teleport inside?
No. I have to be able to see where I'm going.
Or in a plane spinning midair out of control. They're both basically the same thing. Magneto doesn't want to take a chance on Wolverine because he doesn't know the technology to open the doors, so he looks towards Mystique. Which is why none of us are surprised when it's revealed that this is Mystique. But honestly, I'll give it a pass because it gave us this gif. How many fans use... But honestly, I'll give it a pass because it gave us this gif.
Oh, she flipped the bird.
How many fans use that on future X-Men movies?
She's good.
You have no idea.
Ew, that's what you meant by you have blue balls. The X-Men search the place to try and find the kids when Wolverine decides, screw the kids, I just want to know where I came from. Is there like a list of worst movie schools ever? He was their babysitter! By the way, is Cyclops still in X-Men? Oh, there he is. You know, for X-Men United, they sure are separated, dividing, or fighting against each other a lot, aren't they? It looks like he's been brainwashed too as he attacks Jean, but she diverts the hit to the dam. So, just a reminder, all the misery that is to follow is completely his fault. Why do so many kid shows have unlikable leaders?
Jean, no, it's okay.
But luckily, Jean snaps him out of it with... I honestly don't know, a big boom, I guess. As Logan finds the room where Stryker experimented on him, discovering that he was experimented on and Stryker did it. So not a goddamn thing! Oh, wait, we do find out that animanium has to be hot. That should tide us over until our inevitable disappointment. Stryker sicks his bodyguard named Deathstrike on him. Now in the comic, they had this huge rivalry. You already know they don't care. As is par with these movies, Wolverine always gets the funniest swear.
Holy shit.
At some point they'll put together that the more they have him swear, the better the movie will get. We get a pretty decent fight between them, and even a pretty cool death scene. But it looks like Walmart Cerebro has located all the mutants for Xavier, and his brainwashed mind tries to kill them all. But Magneto stops him, plays wall Tetris, and, in my always favorite scene when bad guys team up with good guys, the bad guys inevitably turn into dickheads again. Stryker tries to escape, but Wolverine stops him before he takes off.
Who am I? If you really knew about your past, the work we did together...
What we did to Blob, Gambit, and Deadpool, it's too awful to conceive! He makes sure Stryker doesn't leave as the X-Men save the kids, but have to get inside to stop Xavier from killing mankind.
Kurt, I need you to take me inside.
If I can't see where I'm going...
I have faith in you.
I mean, you totally caught a person mid-air without seeing where she was.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
There was no window facing her, and yet you got her on the first try.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be
Looks like you were facing away from the plane when you teleported
That's
back.
enough.
So I really don't see how this is a big deal. Oh, he made it. Thank God. So suspenseful. It looks like Storm needs to free Stryker's son in order to break the illusion.
It's about to get very cold in here.
I'm not going anywhere.
Why? Can't he just warp out and then warp back in when she's done? And why can't she just keep Nightcrawler warm the same way she's clearly keeping herself warm? Maybe she saw Viva Rock Vegas and wanted to punish him. It seems to work as they save the professor. We get the closest thing we'll ever see to Rogue flying, and Magneto again runs into Stryker, who has plans for him. He moves him over there! Kind of the equivalent of duct taping someone to a wall, doesn't seem that bad. Pyro ends up joining Magneto. It was a very convincing 2-minute talk, but the dam is about to break apart, resulting in, let's just be honest, the most nonsensical of escape plans. Ugh, here we go. Jean walks out of the plane, lifts the plane in the air, pulls a Moses, and then sacrifices herself to the water.
I know what I'm doing. This was the only way.
Really? That was the only way? Iceman couldn't have frozen the water.
This was the only way.
Storm couldn't have stopped the water.
This was the only way.
Xavier couldn't have lifted the plane from inside.
This was the only way.
She couldn't have lifted the plane from inside.
This was the only way.
You just really wanted Wrath of Khan this because you're such a Star Trek bitch that you even took a small part pushing buttons in one of the most hated of Star Trek movies, didn't you?
This is an edited version of Bryan Singer saying yes.
I know it!
Jean, listen to me. Don't do this.
We barely had something together. She lets the water finally engulf her as the X-Men put together that Jean is dead.
She's gone.
Don't! You don't say that!
Oh, I'll miss how we knew nothing about her outside of how poorly she teased the next movie. The president is about to make an address about harsher laws on mutants when Xavier freezes the production to let him know that not all mutants are threatening, while threatening the ever-living shit out of him.
And you also know I don't respond well to threats.
Mr. President, this is not a threat. This is an opportunity.
That terrifying lightning is totally to put your mind at ease.
There are forces in this world who believe that a war is coming. Some have already tried to start one, and there have been casualties.
Casualties we barely knew.
The next move is yours. We'll be watching.
Again, not a threat. Totally not a threat. We are so watching. So America completely ignores that 4 minutes of dead air, and the president decides not to push for harsher laws on mutants. Well, first of all, I really doubt that would fly, but let's, for the sake of argument, say that is what happened in America. The entire world was attacked! Even if the US backed down, every other country would be World War IIIing the hell out of this shit! But, for the sake of, I don't know, just ending this almost 2.5-hour movie, the plan works, and Wolverine lets Cyclops know Jean loved him most.
She had to make a choice. It was you.
Wait, did she have a thing for you, Wolverine? Oh, yeah, you didn't know about that. Look, Omega Red! What? He's not even a character yet. Damn it! And in case you had any doubt, this movie was a total Star Trek 2 ripoff. Here's the opening narration read by the person who just died, building up that they're gonna be back in the next film with almost the exact same music.
Space. The final frontier.
Mutation. It is the key to our evolution.
Where no man has gone. Before.
At every few hundred millennia, evolution leaps forward.
Oh my God, the Firebird! You crushed those expectations right now! So that was X2, was hailed by many to be one of the best, if not the best, X-Men movie. How impressive is that again? Honestly, the film is super long, needlessly slow, has a ton of pointless moments, even more plot holes than the first one, and way too many characters to give them enough time to be interesting. With that said, though, there is an occasional moment of coolness, a nice action sequence here and there, and mostly a fair amount of good acting to make me care just enough. It's definitely on the lower level of okay, but it is still okay. Nothing special, but nothing that bad either. It's a mostly boring, mostly inconsistent, but mostly harmless comic book adaptation. And hey, seeing how much this film is building up the next one, it has to pay off, right? the juggernaut, bitch!
I'm just gonna say it, Logan is the best out of all of them. I probably said this before, but Logan, the movie, is the best. The other X-Men movies can kiss my butt.